Let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And depends on how you're sitting as to what sensations you're going to feel. So if your feet are flat down on the ground, if your feet are down on the ground because you're sitting at your desk, have them about a hip's width apart and just notice the sensations around the feet, on the soles of the feet, the top of the feet. And then maybe you have your legs crossed in the regular meditation posture. So you'll feel the weight of your legs on the soles of your feet and the side of the foot. And just feel your legs on the chair or the surface you're sitting on. Notice the sensation of your hands in your lap. The weight. And then also allow your pelvis and your sits bones to release into the chair, the weight to release into the chair. Now align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine this spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthen your spine. Imagine you're putting space in between all of those vertebrae. And then just go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. Relaxing your scalp, your forehead, your eyes and nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the tongue and the jaw, temples, and your ears. And the back of the head. Just put a bit of length in your neck so there's not any constriction at the base of the skull. See if you can align your ears with your shoulders. Then just relax your shoulder blades, your shoulders. Just allow the shoulders to relax. Drop down, relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Then bringing your attention to the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. You'll notice around the nostrils, your chest cavity, that whole thoracic region, and then the abdomen, maybe. Notice the fact of the breath. Be aware of any potential distractions, perhaps sound. Well, I can't help you control your environment because I'm not there. But you can set yourself up, like with headphones or like this, so your distractions can be minimized. If you're living with other people, or even if you're living alone and you're in an apartment where you can hear others, or maybe there's traffic sound. And then just check in with your mind this evening. Just how are you doing? What's happening in your life? What kinds of thoughts are you thinking? Are they helpful? So just check the stories and just notice what's there without judgment, without opinions. And just allowing the thoughts to arise. Be curious about what you see. And then just allow them to dissolve. And then just bring all the people of your life to your mind. these very dear loved ones that we have in our lives. Some of us are so fortunate with the people in our life. And there's ones we don't really like, and then there's all our strangers. These relationships can change. So no matter how you feel about anyone at any particular time, remember that from their side, they're all equal. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we'll do this practice for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start by applying the four opponent powers. And the first of this is the regret, power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being this day, in this life, and maybe our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then just regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily be experiencing suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, all our delusions. So they're the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. So we're not needing Buddha to forgive us necessarily. We're wanting to purify ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. He's facing the same way as you. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a radiant, blissful face. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he's looking at you with love and compassion and all other sentient beings equally, without judgment. And however you're turning up this evening or today, or depending on your time zone, it's all good. It's just where you're at right now. So his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. Their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this section here on developing compassion. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past. And then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. Then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So just have a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me. Sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta me boa sawa sidi me be yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe ambhadrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi me be yata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine that as the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, instantaneously all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all our attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges and resentment and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled. Not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now we purify even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So this time you imagine that Vajrasattva sends nectar, and this pours down and pushes out all the negativity of your body. And then the nectar flows up again, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and blasts all the delusions. And all this is happening at the same time, as well as you reciting the mantra. And this way we're eradicating even the very subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and the final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions, more positive directions. So just think of something you'd like to work on, your own bits and pieces, so your own habits between, maybe just one little habit between now and tomorrow. And then Vajrasattva, I think, is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So however, whatever you understand emptiness to be, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. All right, everybody. Let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri, the great attachment of all living beings, attachment-free, comparable to space. When springing up in every creature's mind, he is for every being as swift as mind. Aware of all the aptitudes of beings, while captivating every creature's mind, with insight into aggregated natures, himself the fully pure five aggregates. Atop the peak of every going forth, most skilled in going forth in every way, established on all paths of going forth, the teacher of all forms of going forth. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, the swift return of our precious lamas of Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. All right, everyone, lots of love. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Good night, everyone. Thanks for hosting.